Jerry?
No. Just out of the case.
How was the first day of practice?
Mickey Mouse ears.
What's that?
First day of practice, how'd it go?
Awful.
Awful?
Awful. Worst practice we've ever had since I've ever been here.
Really?
No, it was really good. Really good. Kids had great energy. Everybody was out there early, running around. Good group. We got really good leadership. You know, we got kids like Michael Clay, John Boyette, Carson York. Kids who've been here for a long, long time to understand how we're supposed to practice, and I think they've done a really good job in the wintertime, you know, with our younger guys, and I was really, really happy with our young guys and kind of how they stepped it up, and we had a good tempo in everything we did, and it was good.
Given the success that you've had, you change things, you just have to perform.
We always change it. You know, you're always looking to see what you can do better and what, you know, and obviously your personnel and things like that change. So, you know, the guts of what we do doesn't change, but there's always going to be obvious tweaks, and, you know, as you play to your players' strengths. You know, our offense has changed since I've been here because Jeremiah was different than Dennis and Darren was different than Jeremiah. So as we figure out where Brian and Marcus and those guys fit in, then obviously we'll change a little bit. And the same thing defensively. You know, when you see kids that are a little bit different athletically than some of the other guys, then you adjust it that way. But the core of what we do, how we practice, the tempo, the pace, and some of those things, that's never going to change. But there's always going to be tweaks within what we do. So.
In your evaluation of the quarterbacks, what do you want to see from them this spring?
I just want to see improvement. You know, there's too much made over it. It really doesn't matter who your starting quarterback is on April 28th because we don't play till September 1st. So at every position on our team, and it's the same thing I told our kids in our team meeting, is that, you know, do you improve from practice 1 to practice 15, and that's it. Because, you know, if you come out of the spring and someone says, hey, I'm number 1, that's great. You may get beat over the summer because someone else works harder than you. So, you know, can I see improvement, and can we learn from our mistakes, not continue to make the same mistakes, and then do we, you know, is practice 2 better than practice 1? Then they're grasping what we're asking them to do, and they're getting better. So for all those guys playing quarterback right now, all we've asked them to do is improvement. They got a ton of reps. You know, when I look up sometimes, there's a different quarterback in with the 1s and the 2s and the 3s. It really doesn't matter. The coaches at the individual positions rotate. We don't really have 1s, 2s, and 3s, and it's just, can you get better? But I know everybody, with the amount of reps we got in today, everybody got a ton of reps in, and now we'll go in and watch the tape and get a chance to coach them off the first day of film and see if there's an improvement from day 1 to day 2, and that's what we're really looking for. Yeah, we'd like to go in Austin. We'll figure that out as we go. Hopefully the weather will cooperate at some point in time this year. You know, we'll get some nice days out here. So I think you get X amount of rain days here, and we've had them all. So I would imagine it's going to be sunny for the rest of the time. So we'll figure out a time we can get out in there.
Chip, is there a difference in terms of how trying to work in 2 quarterbacks rather than just last year when you had Darren?
No, because if you ever, you know, watch us, those guys all got reps. So last year, every day in practice, Darren got reps, Brian got reps, and Marcus got reps. So it's no different. So those guys, you know, all rotated in and all got, you know, close to the same amount of reps. You know, when you get to the season, our rotation's a little bit different. The 1s are in a little bit longer, but during the spring, we've always gone, you know, sets of 4. So 4 with the 1s, 4 with the 2s, 4 with the 3s, and it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. So it's really no different than it was last spring or any spring that I've been here. So.
Was Trey Carson's transfer, and obviously it's been a while, it's been kind of known a while, but did you think he was going to leave after last season?
No, I think he wanted to get a little bit closer to home, but up until a week ago, he was still trying to make his final decision. So,
what did you say to him when talking about the decision?
I tell them everything. It's their decision. You know, they got to make a decision what makes them happy. And I don't know what makes individuals happy, but if kids express that they want to get closer to home, we can't move this school. So, you know, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. And it happens. You know, attrition is a part of college football. You know, some guys look at depth charts, some guys look at distance from home, some of those other things. But you know, we're going to play with the guys who want to be here. So,
with 2 scholarship backs now in the spring, did you feel okay about your running back situation right now?
Yeah, I feel great.
Was that his sole reason for leaving?
I don't know. You can talk to him.
Coach, you just throw on a day like today. Do you get everyone together before practice begins and lay out your expectations for spring practice and going into the fall?
No, we just had position meetings this morning like we normally do, and then went right into practice.
So you hit the ground running, literally.
Yeah, that's the way. You know, we don't have a whole heck of a lot of time. You got X amount of hours during the day that you're allowed to be with your guys. So I don't have to explain to this group what we expect out of them in practice. Our position coaches do an unbelievable job, and they cover that stuff in their meetings. But we don't have to have a general meeting and talk about the goals and all those other things. Our guys understand what we're trying to get accomplished out here. So,
what's the process of breaking in Eric Armstead and moving him into the rotations?
They jump in the deep end and start swimming, son. That's what he did today. So, you know, Eric was out there running around, is just like Evan Bayless was out there running around, and it's no different. You know, we teach to the fastest learner, and it's it's for the younger guys' job. It's their responsibility to catch up. If they make mistakes, they make mistakes, and we coach them off the film. And same thing we want out of our quarterback position. The same things we want out of Eric and Evan. And do they make improvements from day 1 to day 2 to day 3? But if we try to slow things down for those two guys because they just got here, then we're going to really stump the rest of our guys. And just they'll figure it out.
How did they do today? Were they swimming in the deep end?
No, I thought they actually stuck out and did some decent things. Eric's a big kid, big athletic kid, and can run around, but he didn't look lost out there at all, and neither did Evan. So that's a positive, for those guys.
Is there a difference at all? Sorry to cut you off. Is there a difference at all with having won the Rose Bowl coming into spring and maybe last year with the attitude? No,
it means nothing to us. Last year was last year. Whether you win or lose, we're not patting ourselves on the back for what we accomplished last January. Nor are we kicking ourselves for what we happened the January before. It's all about moving forward. So.
How much of spring practice is competition versus teaching your system?
It's all built in within the good question. All built in within the practice. So there's certainly competition periods within there, but there's also teaching opportunities within the practice. So every practice has a combination of teaching and competition. So if we're doing 1-on-1s or 3-on-2s, whether it's O-line versus D-line or wideouts versus DBs, that's a competitive period. But there's also schemes that have to be taught. So there's different segments of practice that are teaching opportunities, and there's different segments of practice that are competition opportunities.